imagine that rather than breathing with your lungs, that you breathe through your heart. Breathing in through your heart. Breathing out through your heart. In through your heart. Out through your heart. And with each and every breath, having a greater and greater realization of a deep, safe, healthy state of realization. As we take this moment, this opportunity to experience the divine quality of joy. Breathing in joy, breathing out joy. In joy, out joy. In joy, out joy. Having a sense that this divine quality of joy radiates out from your heart and spreads throughout your body. Again, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, through your shoulders, down your arms, moment, this divine appointment. I say, and so it is.
Oh no, I just meant if you're gonna move it, the leg falls apart on the right hand side. If you try to move it, it completely fell apart.
talk dirty.
That's what they said. That's what they say that, and then
Yeah,
this.
that's very four-letter word.
Sometimes it just does a little shift.
80% chance.
Maybe it'll be 18 centimeters.
Maybe.
What's that?
Snow tomorrow.
Starting tonight, maybe.
Too soon. It's no longer in this camera. Next year.
Clear roads.
Okay, we're
Going
on.
to go back until next year.
Next winter. You go up and say something. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we did that last week.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity. My name's Jackie, and I'm your facilitator today.
Yay.
Please join us for some joy singing.
Then you have to sing it tonight.
Good morning, everybody. This is my place, and I am welcome here. Here I am free to learn to grow and share, sharing the love, sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within, sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine, sharing the love, sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within, sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. This is my place. This is my place. Let's affirm it together. And I am welcome here. Here I am free to learn to grow and share, sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within, sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine, sharing the love, sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within, sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. And let's put our hands together now. Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. Sing hallelujah, amen. All right, let's give our hands a rest. Sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within, sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine, sharing the love, sharing the peace, dance and sing, be the stillness within, sharing the joy, the healing prayers, one heart, one mind, one sacred divine. This is my place. This is my place. Listen, from this is our place. This is our place. And for ourselves, this is my place. And Daniel Nahmod's up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up, 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 up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place, a higher place, a higher place, a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upwards. My feet are leaving the ground. Up, 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 up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place, a higher place, a higher place, a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Here we go. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. A higher place, a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. A higher place, a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Here we go. I am possibility. I am a possibility. Infinite possibility. Let's sing that together, please. I am possibility. I am possibility. Infinite possibility. There's no limit to what can be. Every dream is reality. I am possibility. I am possibility. Infinite possibility. Let's do that again. I am possibility. I am possibility. Infinite possibility.
Please join with me in consciousness as we come to this place. This place, this sacred place, this divine appointment. Recognizing that there is one divine essence which moves in, through, and around all things. It fills me. It is me being me here in this moment. So as I breathe and allow that recognition to spread throughout my entire being, I know that this is a divine appointment. And it is, without question, this opportunity for me to rekindle, reimagine, and recommit to that oneness. So it is with a profound sense of gratitude that I release my word into the absolute. It is done. And please join with me. And so it is.
I am possibility. I am a possibility. Infinite possibility. Let's affirm that together. I am a possibility. I am possibility. Infinite possibility. There's no limit to what can be. Every dream is reality because I am possibility. I am a possibility. Infinite possibility. Let's say we are. We are possibility. We are possibility. We are possibility. Infinite, infinite possibility.
The daily word for today is pray for others. I trust God in you. It's been said that a friend is someone who knows the truth for you until you can know it for yourself. As I pray for others, my intention is not to solve problems, but simply to know the truth, to see the situation rightly. As I receive a prayer request, I remember that the one for whom I pray is an expression of God, made in God's image and likeness. As I pray for healing, I affirm God's life expressing. As I pray for prosperity, I affirm God's wisdom and understanding are guiding the one for whom I pray to greater abundance. As I pray about a relationship concern, I affirm that God's love is active in everyone involved. I pray in faith, affirming I trust God in you for each one I hold in prayer. And from Luke 22, verse 32, I have prayed for you that your own faith may not fail. And now it's time to talk about how has unity impacted my life. Is there anyone who would like to share a story this morning? Or a way that unity has impacted your life this week? How about something we're grateful for?
Everybody wants to get up, I can tell.
Okay, well, let's move on. Our annual theme for this year is One Humanity, Many Stories, and our monthly theme for November is spirituality. Now we're going to have a song from Deirdre, and then, oh, sorry. The Book of the Month Club for November is the Tao Te Ching. And a celebration of Bill Carr's life will be held on Saturday, November 16th at 2 p.m. at Unity Church of Mississauga, Unit 8, 3075 Ridgeway Drive, Mississauga, with a reception to follow. And in lieu of flowers, a memorial donation may be made to the charity of your choice.
Okay.
And now, a song from Deirdre before our message for today.
Do you want?
We need words for this one, so I think you should go on first.
Okay.
We need words for this.
Technical problems, technical opportunities. I'd like to start today with a story. And the story involves a letter to a therapist. And it's from a woman who had some concerns. And the letter expresses that this woman had been married for 10 years. And she was really concerned about her marriage. And the concerns were numerous. And one of the things that she was really concerned about was that, for instance, her and her husband had not been intimate on a regular basis for about 2 years. And just recently she had found out that her husband was having a telephone conversation with one of the employees at the company that he was working at. And when she Googled this individual, she found out that this individual woman was really very attractive. And that, was this the cause of a lack of intimacy for the last 2 years? But she was caught in a decision. Should she stay in the marriage, but yet would she not be able to forgive or to forget? Would what she know now impact the relationship from this point forward? Or part of the other side of the equation was, if she decided to leave her husband, how would that impact on her children? Because she had an experience of a father not being present when she was a child. And did she want to have this experience be given to her children? So what to do? So what we're going to talk about today, in relation to that story, is self-mastery, who I really am. And what we're going to talk about is responsibility, mastery of the self, and oneness with God. So let's start off with responsibility. How do we choose to respond each and every moment of our lives? And if you think about this woman, how does she choose to respond to this sequence of events? Now, the thing that I want you to understand is that every single story has at least two sides to it. Typically, every single side of the story depends on who's participating in the story. So her husband would have one response, the children would have another, this woman would have another. So there's a lot of responses to this story. And so, what's the core that is going on here? What's the fundamental issue at hand? And so what I would offer for your consideration, that there's two things that are being spoken to in this story. First thing is freedom. And the second thing is change. And so when we talk about responsibility, how are we dealing with those two things plus the elements of the story? Responsibility is the ability to choose our response to any circumstance or condition. When we are response-able, our commitment becomes more powerful than our moods or circumstances. And we keep the promises and resolutions we make and gain a certain sense of self-mastery. Let me read that again. Responsibility is the ability to choose our response to any circumstance or condition. When we are responsible, our commitment becomes more powerful than our moods or circumstances. And we keep the promises and resolutions we make and gain a certain sense of self-mastery. How does that feel? Is this showing up in your life? Has this shown up in your life? Is it showing up daily in your life? It's a really profound set of comments, isn't it? And how would this show up in this woman's life with her side of the story and her desire for freedom and her desire for change? And how would this show up in your life with your desire for freedom and your desire for change? And over and above all of that, how does that show up in your life, in your spiritual life? Tough questions, aren't they? Not what we typically would like to think about. Because we truly, in the soul or in the core of our core, we really want simple answers, don't we? If I make this choice, this happens. If this happens, then this happens, and then this happens, and this happens. And we go around a circle. Response, ability. So what areas of our life require self-mastery? Anyone? Health?
Everywhere.
Every part. You know, it's really amazing, isn't it? When we think about what, rather than just living life, what part of our life requires self-mastery? Well, does self-mastery include our spiritual journey? Does it include our relationships at work? What about our family? I had an opportunity yesterday to go to the Columbia store at their distribution warehouse in London, and the place was a zoo. I'm telling you, like, there were people coming out of everything. Like, it was an absolute chaotic mess. And what happened was that my daughter-in-law and my two grandchildren came because it was a shopping trip to get them winter boots and snowsuits and stuff like that. And if you think about the size of this place was huge, and the lineup just to get to the cash was the circumference of the room. Like, there were a lot of people. And as I'm having this experience, I'm pushing the two kids around in their stroller. And Wyatt's about 3.5, and Evan's about 18 months. And Wyatt is, because he's at that level, he's reaching out and he's touching everything, right? And so I asked him, I said, what does that feel like? And he kind of looks at me, because typically he would have thought that he would have got his hand slapped for touching. But I asked him, how does that feel? And he kind of looked at me and he says, "I'm not sure." And so I pushed the cart along, strolled along a little bit more, and because that was the jackets, and now we were in tops. And so he puts his hand up the sleeve of one of these tops, and I said, "So what's that feel like?" And by the way, at this point, during this whole process, Evan is in the stroller and he's sleeping. And Kelly's off doing some shopping. And so he goes, "Well, it's a puppet." Okay? And then we move on to another area, and he's touching again, right? And I said, "So what's that feel like?" And because he couldn't do the puppet thing, or he was unsure. At that moment, Evan woke up. And guess what his response was? "Mommy! Mommy!" And then he starts crying. Now, as you may have guessed, not my first rodeo. And when kids cry, I don't necessarily react. If they're fed, they're safe, and they're dry, suck it up. Yeah, I'm the ogre. And so it's really interesting because now we're in the checkout line, okay? And if this was the room, I was over there, and I would have had to go all the way around to get over there, which is where the cash was. And Evan's crying. And he happens to be very well endowed with a loud voice. And he also happens to be very well endowed with the ability to cry really loudly. And so he has honed this thing about crying, and he has mastered self-mastery. Right? But Grandpa isn't reacting. He's just moving along in the line. But there's two young ladies that are standing in front of him. And I gotta tell you, he's cute. Okay? He's really cute. And in normal circumstances, if he was here right now, he'd just go, "Hi!" He has that kind of personality. And so the really cool thing was that as soon as those two young ladies that were in front of me started paying attention to him, he stopped crying. Right? Here's an opportunity for everybody to participate in my family. And Kelly's still way over there doing some shopping. She comes back, and then he does the mommy thing again, and she reacts. Now, so there's two parts to the story, right? Grandpa, who's at the rodeo for the 100th time, and Mommy, who's concerned about two kids. And so guess which story Mommy did? And so her ability to respond was pretty predictable, wasn't it? Well, Grandpa doesn't know what he's doing. I'm the mother, guess what? And so it's a story. And it's a story about how do I react. So we're talking about another one of those parts of this story is the mastery of self. Mastery of self is applicable in all areas of our life, not just spiritual, not just our spiritual life. I got my ears fixed, now my mouth doesn't want to work. Just saying. So maybe this week I'll get my mouth fixed so my ears don't work. Mastery of self is applicable in all areas of our life, not just our spiritual life. If we were operating from consciousness of self, we are in alignment with what is our greatest and highest good. To operate from self could mean there are outside influences affecting our outcomes. Would anybody agree with that? It's not something that we really think about, is it? Because typically in our lives, what do we do? We react rather than consciously create, don't we? 95% of our experiences in life when we're just going along is the software that's coming from our subconscious is just creating an opportunity for us to move through life without really thinking. Like, for instance, driving a car. How many of us have had the experience where we've driven someplace and went, how did I get here? I don't remember a single thing that I did. I don't remember seeing a single person on this drive from here to there. And so it is that unconscious way of life, isn't it? Because it's really easy to allow the subconscious to take over for us. You remember the first time you did a specific thing? Remember the first time that you got behind the wheel of a car and how you had to pay attention to everything? But today, it's have at it. And now we don't even think about where we're driving. Sometimes we don't even remember driving. So mastery of self is applicable in all areas of our life, not just spiritual life. If we were operating from a consciousness of self, typically, are we? We are in alignment with what is our greatest and highest good. To operate from self could mean that there are outside influences affecting our outcomes. What about this woman and her story? And what about the idea of freedom and change? So it's 10 simple ways to become your own master. Go on a budget. Develop a talent that requires daily practice. Fast, meditate, pray, exercise. Stop eating before you're full. Give up something you like for a set amount of time. Perform feats of difficulty. Start small and build on small successes. Who's up for this? I think I'm tired already. You know, from my perspective, this doesn't give me any sense of freedom. It gives me a sense of change that I probably am going to be suffering from. Would you agree? So, in doing this, I sat there and I went, yeah. I think it's probably easier to stay in the moment. How many of us, how many of you, when you are consciously focused in the moment, find life extremely difficult? No, you don't. Because in that moment, you have the freedom to make a choice. Don't you? And in that moment, you also have the possibility of making a change in how you choose to react to something, a change in how you choose to move forward in your life, a change in how you choose to express life, not only for yourself, but for everybody around you. But how often do we stay in the moment? I don't know how they come to this. I don't know how they came up with the numbers, but they say approximately 85% of the thoughts that you have in a particular day, which amounted to something like 14,000, 85% of them are exactly the same ones that you had yesterday. How do they count that? And how do they come up with those numbers? But let's assume for a second that they do. That is, in fact, accurate. How would it change if we stayed in the moment? The story that I told you about this woman, how would it change if she stayed in the moment? And how would she experience freedom if she stayed in the moment? One with God. You are one with God. All the qualities of God are operating as you. Self-mastery with the same respect reveals us to our divinity. You are worthy. Okay. Who thinks they are worthy? Maybe sometime? Who thinks they are worthy all of the time? Really tough question, isn't it? And so, when we take this opportunity to sit in this place and we talk about it, how many of us, and so I'd like a show of hands. How many of us think that all of the things that are going on in our lives which do not bring us tremendous joy are a really great thing? I notice all of the hands. How many of us actually think that all of those things that aren't really going well for us are there to bless us? Sometimes. And so, when we think about what's going on, the stuff that's changing in our lives but isn't going as fast or as dynamically as we would like it, is actually a blessing, rather than the universe going, no, you can't have that. And so, how does this fit into self-mastery? You know, like when I was doing the work to prepare this talk today, every one of those flippant questions I had to ask myself. This was not an easy talk to prepare. Because when you prepare a talk like this, you gotta look in the mirror. And how often do we stand in front of the mirror and go, I am worthy? I am the king of self-mastery. And if I did that, can you imagine Anne rolling on the floor in hysterics because she was laughing so much? self-mastery. What does that really mean? And in addition to that, are we really being too hard on ourselves? I don't know. I just think that no matter what I do, no matter how often I do it, I'm in exactly the right spot to do exactly the right thing, to be in the moment, to make exactly the right choice. In theory. In practice, I have a little bit of work to do. But in practice and in theory, you are that. And you do that each and every day. You do that in each and every moment, but you may not recognize it, and you may not realize just how profoundly beautiful and wonderful that you really are. So, this oneness with God. How many of us lead by example? I have one. Can I have two? Can I have three? I would like a whole room full. Be the change that you choose to experience in your life. What would the highest version of myself say or do in this situation? And how often do we ask ourselves this question? The beauty of it is that if we actually did that, would that have consequences to the two things that we really, truly are being influenced on in our lives, and that's freedom and change. If we could stay in the moment, how much freer would we be? If we stayed in the moment, how much of a change to allow us to have a more full expression of who we are in our lives would show up? Can we do that? Simple, but not so easy. Allow yourself to reveal itself to the self and to be open to what will be. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm more inclined to think that if I stayed in the moment, I would create that rather than throwing the dice. Okay, so what did we talk about? We talked about responsibility, mastery of self, and one with God. So let's stop here for a second and go back to this woman who wrote the letter to the therapist. And so there's at least two sides to the story, right? So what about the husband? What would the letter from the husband be like to the therapist? So let me give you a version of that. Dear therapist, I have been married to the most wonderful, beautiful woman for the last 10 years. 2 years ago, my father died. And I have been impacted by that death every single day for the last 2 years. And I don't know how to express it. I want to talk to my wife, but I don't know how to do that. And every time that I talk to her about this, she doesn't understand how I'm feeling. And so the other day, actually the other day was 6 months ago, there was one of my fellow employees at work who lost her husband. And we talk about that sense of loss that each of us have experienced. She hears me, and I hear her. And I really, really wish that I could have that kind of relationship with my wife. But she hasn't had the experience, so she really doesn't know what I'm talking about. But I really, really, truly love my wife. And I look forward to the days, the weeks, the months, and the years to come. I just really hope we can get over this so that she understands me and I can understand her to a more profound level. 2 stories. Which one is right? 2 stories that both reflect freedom and change. And so, as we take this opportunity to move forward today and the todays to come, and we're talking about our responsibility and the mastery of self and our oneness with God because it is who and what we are. The simple, most effective tool for any of this is to be in the moment. Because in the moment, you can make a choice. My wish, my hope, my desire for each and every one of you is that you have that profound experience this week. If not throughout your entire week, at least have one experience of being in the moment by choice. So have fun this week.
Thank you, Rev Randy. You've given us a lot to think about.
Let's sing Witness together. This day is a witness to my sacred purpose, to all that I'm meant to be. This day is a witness to my sacred purpose, to all that I'm meant to be. Letting it in, letting it flow, letting it go where it will go, letting the power of your presence show the way. Letting it in, letting you know, I'm letting you lead.
Okay, we believe in giving is a spiritual practice. If you're here for the first time, know your presence is a gift to us. Please take your conscious giving envelope in your hand and affirm the following with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all I have, all I give, and all I receive.
I'm grateful to have learned the truth. I've listened to the words my heart has spoken. Divinely blessed and guided, I no longer search fulfillment from excuses with no purpose. I am free, free from all the shackles that surround me, free to choose to give my life new meaning, free to change, to love, unfold my destiny. I am free. I lift the veils that shadowed me. I see the love and beauty that abounds me. No longer cling to thoughts I thought protected me. I braved it all, now I live with purpose. I am free, free from all the shackles that surround me, free to choose to give my life new meaning, free to change, to love, unfold my destiny. I am free. I bless my past mistakes. Bless all the scars they've made. I bless them all, the lessons learned. They brought me where I am today. I am free, free from all the shackles that surround me, free to choose to give my life new meaning, free to change, to love, unfold my destiny. Ooh, I am free, free from all the shackles that surround me, free to choose to give my life new meaning, free to change, to love, unfold my destiny. I am
Thank you, Deirdre. That was beautiful. Now it's time to bless the offering. given in love, received in love, this offering goes forth to do its perfect work. All my desires and needs are met by Spirit through me, and so it is. If you have a prayer request, there are cards on the back of the chairs, and the prayer box is at the back of the room. All prayers will be prayed upon here for 30 days and then go to Silent Unity for another 30 days of prayer. And before we do our closing prayer treatment, I was hoping we could have an update on Rev Ann.
Well, she she's actually doing spectacular. This week, well, for instance, last night with my son being in Cambridge with the family, we went out and had dinner last night. When was it? Tuesday? Put her in the car and away we went. We went out and had lunch. So she's really doing well. The site where the surgery was is healed. It's healed over. Now it's all about getting strength and mobility. There is no joint pain, and she is actually feeling pretty good about everything. So your prayers, your consideration, your desires for her are most appreciated. Thank you.
It's good to hear.
So closing treatment?
Closing treatment and then our final.
Okay. Join with me in consciousness. As we take this moment to be grateful for the opportunity for self-mastery. In this moment, the gratitude that allows us to express that perfection that we are. That opportunity to express the ability to choose in this moment. To make a difference in our lives and those that may be in our circle of influence. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So it is with a profound sense of awe and wonder that I release my word into the law of mind. It is done. And together we say, and so it is. Yes, you can.
Let's celebrate the beginning of a whole new week. With I Can See Clearly Now. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. And all of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. All right, let's visualize. bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Tell someone else that, come on now. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Find someone else and tell them it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. And let's claim it for ourselves. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. And all the people say, amen. Have a wonderful week.